Well, welcome back to Backstage. You know, when a music legend like Robin Gibb from the Bee Gees is your dad, you might have a little bit of talent there. Well, his son Spencer Gibb has a whole lot of it and is the lead singer for the band 54 Seconds. And thanks to his very talented crew, they are now out with their fourth album, Postcards from California, featuring the song Dirty Little Secret. Take it away.
The days are getting longer since you last called. Now I wonder if it's something you know I didn't do, and you don't talk about me ever when I'm not there. No, my world's a little different from anyone you know. Hey, I told you so. You can't tell me why I'm your dirty little secret. If only you could keep it, I should've known. All my precious time never had a meaning. Seeing is believing. The cover is blown. You're keeping an appearance has come undone. Undercover operations never made me love, and I never thought that we were walking a wilder side. Everybody seems to think you're cleaner than I know. Seen a different show. You can't even hide your dirty little secret. If only you could keep it, I could have known. All those little crimes finally have meaning. Seeing is believing. The cover is blown. Seems to me that everything has always gotta go your way. Seems to me you've always gotta play the part you're told to play. I know the superficial world, I know it's never getting better. Don't know how to play that game. You can't tell me why I'm your dirty little secret. If only you could keep it, I couldn't know. All my precious time never had a meaning. Seeing is believing. The cover is blown. You can't even hide your dirty little secret. If only you could keep it, I could know. All those crimes finally have meaning. Your cover is blown.
So you got to tell me, Spencer, is there a little dirty little secret to this band, huh?
Well, I think you're probably interviewing the wrong person. So.
We'll get it all on you. Introduce the whole crew here for us.
This is Rachel Loy, bass and vocals. Jeff Bada, drums, vocals. Stuart Cochran, keyboards and vocals.
And they put up with you, huh?
That's the dirty
They
little
try,
secret.
right? That's the dirty little secret. Now, give me an idea. You know, when your dad's from the Bee Gees, your mom did some work with the Beatles. Where do you get your music inspiration?
Well, I mean, obviously as a kid, there was a lot of, you know, a lot of music around. You know, the Beatles stuff, obviously, and my father's stuff. But my mother and father were also like big R&B freaks. They really were. It was like Motown, Stax. You know, obviously you can hear that in my father's music. So I just grew up, you know, among like a lot of different influences. You know, and it all comes together with what I write.
Do they ever give you a hard time and ask you to try to belt out Staying Alive or anything like that?
Yeah, fortunately that stuff does not happen.
That's probably why you're all still together, right? How would you describe the music of 54 Seconds? Because I think it's hard to categorize you guys in a particular genre.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has their own sort of different description of it, and, you know, magazine, TV reviews sort of put it differently. But, you know, it's rock and roll, but it's, you know, it's got a pop sensibility. It's a little bit melancholy, a little bit.
Now the band name, I should say, 54 Seconds. You know, there's an old music line that about 54 seconds into a song is when you ought to hit the chorus, you ought to hit, you know, the hook. Any connection?
She knows that. That's insane. How do you know that?
I know!
That's where the name comes from, but no one knows that. It was a, like, real long story short, and I'll keep the profanity out because there's a lot of it in there. We were working with a manager years ago when I was still a solo artist, and Stuart and I were trying to put the band together that didn't like our songs. And he was an English manager, and we'd send him demos. He didn't like the, it wasn't poppy enough for him. It turns out he was a real, like, traditional old pop guy. And so at the end of it, he's like, you know, he goes, well, none of your songs, you know, the chorus is like, you know, they come in at like a minute. They don't come in at like 54, 55 seconds. And the perfect pop song, chorus has got to come in at 54 seconds. Right? And I'm just like, okay. And then he's like, well, you guys need a band name. And I'm like, well, we're going to be together a week, so we don't have one, so thanks a lot. And then finally, I just yelled at him, okay, well, how about we call our band 54 Seconds, and screamed a profanity. And I hung up the phone, and our manager called back and said, well, he didn't like you very much, but I loved the band name.
Sweet.
And so it stuck, and because the irony was, when we first started, we weren't really very poppy at all. It was a lot more psychedelic, a lot more trippy, more conceptual.
And you guys really kind of base yourselves out of Austin, Texas, which is such a colorful music scene in and of itself. Give me an idea a little bit. I know you tend to be pretty personal about some of your songwriting. What have been some of the biggest experiences that you've drawn off of?
Well, it's always, I mean, generally, as a lyricist, everything is personal to me. I'm definitely not, I mean, you know, if I'm writing with other people, it's a lot more about the song. I mean, Rachel and I will get together and write sometimes where it's a little more, you know, song-oriented, although it still draws from personal experiences. I'm very personal that way. It has to be a specific thing. If there's something you hear in a song that maybe sort of makes you think I wrote it about a relationship, it probably is.
All right, we'll look for those little clues. You're going to sing Ben's Letter for us. Real quick, what's a little insight into that one?
Actually, there really was a guy called Ben, and he really did write a letter to a friend of mine that whose heart he broke. All right. And that's really what started it.
Note to self, pay attention to lyrics, right, for the rest of us?
Yeah, and don't write letters.
Thanks a lot, Spencer. Greatly appreciate it. We'll let you guys take it away.